you as well. A few weeks ago I visited the Porsche Experience Centre at Silverstone. You can see here just a little browse around the inside. It's very much like the McLaren motorhome, the F1 motorhome in fact, in the way it's sort of designed. Really lovely building, it displays all their cars, and obviously they have this for corporate events. And of course the main event of the day was a look at Forza Motorsport running on the Xbox One X, and of course you see Dan Greenwald here as well making a presentation, talking a bit about Forza Motorsport, the brand, the franchise, where it's been, where it's at now, and potentially for the future as well. And of course all of this is about the sort of relaunch, if you like, for the Xbox One X. We're seeing all the Xbox One X news coming out from Microsoft now. They finally let the embargo go and everyone can talk about it, and I've got a video coming up about it as well. But it was great to see Dan, you know, his passion for the project, where it's come from, and of course the interest from car companies as well, in terms of just the interest in seeing how their cars are demonstrated in the games. You can see here the Porsche GT2 RS, which was launched at E3 this year, a video game event launching a real car. The concept of this years ago was unheard of. You just could not imagine the motor industry taking the games industry seriously in any way, shape or form, and it's really nice to see that now. One can only hope that as the years go on that you end up with, obviously, with car companies working together with game companies and better performance in terms of not only how they look in the games, which they've already got quite well, it's in terms of how they handle and getting that right as well. But I had a look at some of the old cars that were there as well, and sort of from the old to the new, as it were. And so you look at the older car there, looking the footwell, very simple. We've got a fire extinguisher, all important. That car probably costs more than your house, you know, just the simplicity of driving those cars. There is a raw simplicity to being the best driver, where obviously everything has changed now. And you look at the new technology now, how it's changed, the aerodynamics, and of course the cut-out wheel arches now as well to stop the cars taking off and stuff like that. You know, there's all these extra details, but you can just see amazing technology, and that's just on the outside. You know, what you don't see is when they take off the bodywork on these cars, and in particular I mentioned Formula 1 cars as well, because when you see how the engineering is packed in beneath that bodywork, it really is amazing. I mean, literally it's everything: cables, wires, electronics. I also like to get the in-car view as well, just to give that sort of authentic vibe of what it's like when you're playing the games, and just how good they really are. Of course, I've been playing Forza Motorsport since E3 in terms of Forza Motorsport 7, and we see it here running on the Xbox One X at the E3 show, and of course I was running that in a simulator. But today was my chance to, or the day on this day was my chance to run a real Porsche 911. And of course here, before running that, I ran a bit on the simulators at the venue as well, and we had a team event, lap times and everything else. So I topped the chart on this, and I topped the chart in the race event as well. And of course then we've got the car coming up, the real sort of car control stuff, and we started off with a loop 1, which was a small sort of technical loop, which is what you see. You're not going up super high speeds, it's all about getting your braking right and your cornering. Then after that you go into a higher speed loop where you can really put your foot down, and then we did launch control, which was pretty amazing. So you're going to see my first sort of tippy toeing. You start off going slow, you're not allowed to go fast, and you don't want to go fast, because what we can't have in real life is you crashing off and damaging a 150, 200,000 pound car. That's not going to happen. It also would hurt as well. So it's very much a case of improving your speed, in a way, kind of to an extent. I do it on some of these games as well, because at these trade shows you never want to show yourself crashing off, so you're always driving somewhere within your limit rather than totally on the limit. But either way, that all comes with experience as well. So this was a really nice chance for me. I went to the roof first just to have a look at some of the racing drivers. So I was on track with some of the racing drivers as well, and every now and again I'll peel off and let them by. I was quite concerned with their closing speeds, because my goodness me, were they going fast around the corners, drifting the corners and everything else. And then you can see there, of course, some of the competitions were still in progress, and of course I won on that one as well, which was the Silverstone, which was good fun actually. Enjoyed that. But from there it was time for me to drive in the car. I don't normally film these different sessions. I've done them in various different cars, but this is my first time in a Porsche 911, so I'm just going to leave you with a bit of the chat.
Brake early, so get the speed off early, good. Just be nice and smooth, that's the key to keep looking as far ahead as you can. Now the gas. Into the left, and then just brake brake early for the next bend. A bit more braking done. Bit more brake. Bit more. Bit more.
Okay, so you know, there's a part of me that wanted to go quicker, but there's a part of you that has to have patience because you've got to get that braking right, and it takes a bit of time just to get a feel for the brake pedal, just to get a feel for the weight of the car, essentially,
So brake early.
and then gradually getting quicker and listening to the co-driver.
To the left.
So much power.
450, yeah. Brake more, brake more, that's it. Looking through the bend as far as you can. I just very slightly come off the gas. I just get a nice constant speed through the bend.
Yeah.
Keep the gas, no brake, don't need to brake, keep the gas on a little bit. And then straight line here, brake now. Brake earlier, brake more, then keep it tight. That's it.
So now we're moving on to a drift section now, where we are obviously, you'll see a water gauge thing and just driving around here. So you cruise around here very slowly. They like the cars to go very slowly around these sections. Then he gives you a bit of instruction. My driver, instructor, give me a bit of instruction on what's going to happen. You sort of get it until you're actually, you know, till things start happening. You think you understand it, and then you know, you understand, right, okay, I got an idea on how this works now, and then the next time you go a bit quicker and a bit quicker and you control the car a bit better. So
yes, on you go.
I'll leave you now with a bit of the
time.
water splash section as well.
A bit quicker, bit quicker. Feel it, steer.
Yep, I do.
Off the gas. Brake now, just brake. That's it. And that was slightly too much gas there.
Yeah.
What to do is, if you feel it starting to slide, what we can do to make it more effective of a skid is what we call lift off the gas and get lift off oversteer. Right off the gas, right. Okay.
So I enjoyed that. I had added a little camera, that little replay that was taken, but it was good fun. Again, I needed a few more times just to get my head around it fully in terms of understanding what speed they wanted you to enter it at. But either way, I really enjoyed that. I want to say a big thank you to my instructor as well. You know, these guys, they see so many people with various experiences and everything else, and you've just got to unlearn anything you've learned before and just listen to them in terms of, you know, don't go too fast. It's really about progressing. The next car we went out in, we went much quicker on the faster course, and I really enjoyed going in the faster course, and in the launch control where you go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and then hit the brakes at like 100 odd something mile an hour. But in terms of a comparison here, it really was great fun testing out the Porsche. It was incredibly responsive. I know we talk about brake horsepower, but it was the weight and responsiveness of this car. You put your foot down and it absolutely launched. I mean, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. As soon as you put your foot down, you'd go from 40 to 100 just like that. I mean, it really was like such an acceleration. I say 40, wherever you're exiting at corner speed. Some of these corners were quite slow corners and technical. And it really was great fun. But I just wanted to share the overall experience with you guys there. I really enjoyed it. But the launch control starts were really punishing. It's just a real shame that I couldn't have shown you the whole day in terms of what was available in the experience. It really was quite a lot of fun, but also physically as well, quite tiring. It was actually, you know, quite physical for your whole body, and the braking was quite a lot harder on the fast course than you expect. I've experienced it before, but the braking was a real punishment in terms of the driving. It shows how strong these drivers are, especially co-drivers as well, and putting up with me. So a big thanks to my driving instructor for his time, and I always say that to all the driving instructors. Really appreciate all of their time. It was a great experience. And I'm going to talk about that more when it comes to these car experiences and the game experiences on a later video. But for now, I just wanted to leave you with a little bit of this. I'll be looking at Forza Motorsport 7 more on Xbox One X in the coming days, plus lots of other stuff on the Xbox One X as well that I've got sitting here. So I've downloaded my 750 gig of data over the last few days. Now I'm ready to actually start playing on it. So that's it from me for now. Hope you've enjoyed this little video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments, and there'll be more from me very soon.